Hey guys, welcome back. About a month ago, I filmed a video of me trying Fluval Stratum for the first time. And today I thought I would film an update on how all of my plants are doing since switching them to Fluval. I think I had only switched over about 7 to 8 plants in that first video. And just a couple days after that, I bought another bag of Fluval that was 2 times the size of the first one. And I moved a bunch of plants and propagations over to Fluval. And they've been doing so well. I did film this video a week later, so I will be putting in clips on how my plants were doing after a week in Fluval. And as of today, they've been in Fluval for about a month and a week. I'm not really sure, but I know the video says about a month ago. I guess we can start off with my Philodendron El Choco Red because this is the one that surprises me the most. I never propagated my Philodendron El Choco Red before. And I think I told you guys I was really nervous when I was taking the chop. That's kind of why I did it in a short formed video because I didn't really want to talk about it. I just wanted to do it. Containers are kind of foggy because I just took them out of the greenhouse and it was pretty wet in there. But I do want to take them out just for funsies. I'm not going to take all of them out, but this is one that I do want to take out. Oh my god. This is almost safe to switch over to pond/leca. Look how long those roots are. I'm not going to disturb it too much. I'm just going to put it right back into the pot, but there's a lot of roots on there. Let me see if you guys can see. Look at all those roots. I wish I had another El Choco Red just so I can chop it up again. It was in this cup right here, and I'm just gonna put it in this cup because why not? The roots were already at the bottom anyway, so just gonna stick him in there. Yeah, I cannot wait to see the next leaf come out. I'm not sure if it's going to be that big because I did take a chop, but I'm hoping that it's going to be big. Make sure you are following me on Instagram because every time I get a new El Choco Red leaf that comes out, it's a whole show. So this is another one that I switched over to Fluval. It has this little label on it because this is going in my plant shop. So make sure you're following me on Etsy. I'm going to be listing some lower variegated Monstera Albow on my shop. So like I said, make sure you're following me so you do stay updated. But this is one of the plants that I moved to Fluval. Then I updated you guys a week later and there was a root that was coming out. But you can definitely tell since then that root has got pretty long. I was gonna take this out, but I feel like it's not necessary because you can see the root right there and it's a lot bigger than it was. Should we take it out just for funsies though? Let's do it. Oh my god, April, don't break it. I definitely felt the snap, crackle, pop. Oh my god, guys. Look at this. So yeah, I'm gonna put this back in the pot and I might switch it to sphagnum moss. So if you get this plant and you're like, I thought it was gonna be in Fluval, it's not. It's getting switched over to sphagnum, which it's gonna do fine in because look at how healthy the root is, or the roots are. I feel like I'm losing my voice. But that's because I talk 24/7. This is another one that I want to take out of the pot to check on the root system, the little Philodendron Mami that I propagated. This leaf has been yellowing for a while. I think I actually kind of stopped the yellowing in its tracks because it was getting spider mites. So I bought some insecticidal soap. I used to use that stuff all the time. I kind of forgot about it, but I started using it again and I love that stuff, which is really so helpful in the wintertime. I feel like in the wintertime, spider mites come out to play. And if you don't have insecticidal soap, what are you doing? I'll link it in my Amazon storefront just for your convenience, but it is at Lowe's. But yeah, we propagated this plant so long ago and it wasn't really doing much until I put it into Fluval. I can tell it's rooted though because the red roots around the cup. I really shouldn't be taking this out, but I like to mess around and find out, you know. And I also wanted to check if it was rooted in both spots, which is right here and right here. In the last video that I filmed that I'm inserting clips from, I noticed that there were little roots coming out from the top node. I repotted it in a way where these little roots were in the substrate so that they would grow it downwards. Because this is a crawling plant, so I want to promote that in any way possible. My mother plant of my Mami doesn't look that good. I might chop that whole thing up soon, but I feel like it's because it's not rooted in a way that it can crawl properly. So I really like what this is doing. Super freaking cool. Let's put her back though. Okay, I'm actually gonna take out one more plant because in the last video that I filmed, this one didn't have any roots on it. It's another Philodendron Mami. Look at how pretty this is. But it looks like they finally rooted. It took them a little bit longer, but I feel like Philodendron, for me at least, have been a little bit harder to root until I met Fluval. Here's the other one with some roots. How exciting. Here is my lemon lime. What is this? Lemon lime philodendron? No, this is a neon pothos, and I call it a lemon lime philodendron every single time I talk about it. But I cut it out, so you never hear me say that. But anyways, this is my neon pothos that we switched over to Fluval in my trying Fluval for the first time video. And in that video, the propagations were in water, and they only had these little bulbs at the end that weren't even roots yet. But if you can see now, this plant is pretty well rooted. And I only took a few cuttings because I was nervous to propagate this plant since my bigger mother plant of my neon pothos is not all that big. It's taken forever to get that large, but it's finally at the point where it's a hanging plant. And I really want to add these pieces back into that plant just to make it more full. So I think that's what I'm going to do with these. But look at how well those are rooted. I don't think I'm ever going to not use Fluval ever again in my plant journey life because it's just working wonders. Another one, this is another plant we switched to Fluval, one of my anthurium. And when we did, it did not have this little leaf coming out right here. We started with one leaf, and this plant is a plant that I've had to cut all the leaves off, so I didn't expect a new leaf to come out for a long time, which it really didn't. But once I moved it to Fluval, a new leaf popped out within a couple weeks. And that's enough for me to say that Fluval is saving my plants at this point. Here's a little albow. Somebody asked me, was this a Philodendron White Knight or a wizard, I think? I don't know. This is a Monstera Albow. It's a really tiny little cutting. I think we took this in my first Fluval video as well. I'm not gonna take this one out because you can tell that it's pretty rooted in there. I think that's the only root showing on the outside. Yeah. There's another Mami. I don't think there are any fresh roots on here yet. I'm not sure. Where are the roots at? Over here. There could be little fuzzy ones, but not quite. This one was already rooted when I switched it over to Fluval. And it was also more recent, but I guess not that recent because I also switched my Birkin over the same day that I did that Mami. And look at all of this fuzzy root growth. This one was also already pretty rooted, but you can tell that it's even more rooted now. Like, look at how nice and rooted it is, and it's putting out these beautiful little shiny leaves. If you guys have been following me, I've had this plant forever, and I've honestly contemplated throwing this plant away multiple times, but I haven't. And I'm kind of glad that I haven't, because before this plant was in water, just rooting in water for months on end, along with that little Mami. And I finally potted it up, and it's actually doing well. I do want a bigger plant of this. Like, if I'm gonna have a Birkin, I want a bigger one. So I might be getting rid of this one as well. I do have some more Mikans that I propagated. My mother plant of my Mikans is doing so good. She's in a self-watering pot right now. Let me go get her so I can show you guys. I feel like it's not even fair to show you this plant because a lot of my plants are doing good, but look at this little Mikans. I've never had a Mikans before. Well, I've had a Mikans before. I think I bought a 2-leaf cutting, but that plant died. And I bought this more established plant from Lowe's, I think this year in the summertime, for only $7 for it to grow into this gorgeous beauty. Like, look at this new leaf right here. It's so beautiful. It's definitely giving Philodendron verrucosum vibes. It's so pretty. I really wasn't too sure about this plant because it went straight from soil to semihydro. And like I said, that's not always the best thing to do. But she's rooted. None of these roots were down here when I potted her into this pot. So I'm so happy that she's well established in semihydro. That's so freaking exciting. I propagated some fresh leaves off of my Philodendron Mikans. I'm pretty sure they're rooted. Oh yeah, they're not that rooted. I don't think I propagated these ones a month ago. It could have been maybe like 2 weeks ago I propagated these ones. Definitely want more than one Philodendron Mikan, so I'm trying to get some going so I can have at least 2 really nice ones. I also have these little Mikans as well. There might be, yeah, there's also some heartleaf philodendron in there, but that's Mikans, heartleaf philodendron, Mikans. And these are rooting pretty well as well. So exciting. In the other video, I showed you my Birkin and both of these leaves were green. After a few weeks, this leaf has decided to turn yellow on me, which I'm very sad about. Look how beautiful that is though. I guess I'm sacrificing this leaf to get a new leaf that's coming up there. It does look small though, which is so frustrating. I'm really trying to grow some bigger leaves. I don't know. I guess all the propagations are different because I have these ones. Oh my god, these are so cute. And they're finally starting to put out growth since they're in Fluval. There's a new leaf coming out there. This leaf is crusty, but there's another one coming out, and this is very exciting because these propagations were looking dusty before I put them in Fluval. And then I have another Burl Marks Fantasy that's kind of yellowing a little bit. This leaf's yellowing just a tad, but these ones are looking pretty healthy. And then we have this leaf coming out at the top. So freaking cool. I can't wait to see what that looks like. This one might be listed in my shop soon as well. So like I said, keep your eyes peeled. But that does bring me to the end of today's video. I just wanted to say Happy New Year. I'm really excited for 2024. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you're following my shop on Etsy, Palace of Propagations. Everything that needs to be linked below is linked below. And until my next video, bye guys.